questions in the Q&A window and we will address it. Okay, so let's get into it. Sai, we are very, very happy to have you with us. Welcome to this session, and handing this over to you.
Thank you so much, Menaka, and I'm happy to be here. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing fine. It is unprecedented times here. I'm sure, many of us are going through different emotions and trying to adjust to the new reality. So please stay safe and don't let this dampen your spirit of learning. I think this is the best time to start learning some skill, right? So there is never a better time for us to acquire any new skill. And I'm, of course, my background is I spent more than 22 years in the industry, in the technology industry. I started my career as an engineer, moved into architect role in Sun Microsystems. If you know that company, if you've heard of that company, that's the company that created Java and also 200 other technologies that we use every day today. And then moved into product management and product leadership in Oracle. I've led a portfolio of multi-million dollars global customers. And I've also been an executive faculty, executive coach, and a visiting faculty at IPL for a couple of years now. Mainly because, very simple. I think, in India, product management is one of the hottest jobs. And it's not just in India, globally as well. But in India, it's more so right now because of the kind of products that companies are building, not just to solve local problems, but also global problems, right? And I've, in my career, have tried to hire, and I've hired dozens and dozens of product managers. And every time I'm left with a kind of a feeling that, yes, we do have a talent pool of people who want to do product management, who some of them are quite good at it, but there is no structured way of learning those skills. I think that's something that I found missing. And while I can keep complaining about it, I looked around and saw institute like, IPL, which provides a very structured, hands-on, experiential way of learning these skills, which are very important these days, irrespective of what functional role you are in today, right? And hence my engagement and association with IPL deepened in the last couple of years or so. So, that's essentially why I'm here. And hopefully I can answer some of your questions, anything related to, around product management, the skills, the competencies, what is the best way to learn those skills, what is the best place to learn those skills, and what kind of roles does this benefit the most, any kind of thing, including questions that you may have around the programs that the Institute offers, right? Specifically around pretty interesting and exciting program, in my view, about the ICPM Flex, because it kind of decouples, the learners from the constraints of location and duration. So happy to take any questions if there are any right now, or if you want me to address any particular topic, more than happy to do that as well.
I see one question from Sri Harsha. Was it Sri Harsha? Mm-hmm. So let me unmute you. Sri Harsha, I have unmuted you.
Don't be shy, folks. I think this is a good opportunity to, no question is a bad question in my view, right? Now, there might be some bad answers, but don't worry about whether the question is relevant, applicable. We can turn that around into a very relevant question for everyone. So don't hesitate. Go ahead and ask.
Hey, hi, Menika. Thank you. Thanks a lot for this wonderful session. And hi, Sai. We are very good to have you over here. And
thank you.
And I have a strong hope that all of our doubts will be cleared from you. So for the first question is, I'm working as a business analyst, a senior BA, having of around 7 years of experience. The thing is, as in my past experience, I handle more products. How does it work from 0 to 100% to delivery? But the thing is, as a BA, I'll be having only the knowledge about like from technical standpoint as well as the functional standpoint from 0 to 100%. But like as per my initial knowledge or initial analysis, the product life cycle is a completely different one from what BA role. That is completely different. My question is, how does is that first question is if the product manager or product development is a relevant job or relevant thing for business analyst? That is the first question. The second question would be, if it is relevant, how does it helps business analyst to take it forward in their career life?
So good questions. I think you know, I'll tell you a couple of statistics that might answer your first question, right? In the many of the programs that IPL offers, which are focused on product management, at least 30 to 35% of the participant comes from business analysis roles. Right now, if you actually, since you are a BA, you obviously know that a number one role and responsibility of a business analyst is an interface between the business side of things, whether it is a client, whether it is a customer, whether it is your own organization, and then translating those requirements and understanding those pain points into something that can be developed as part of a solution, right? Which is working with development teams or engineering teams. That is predominantly has been the role for business analysts. And of course, as you grow within that role, the scope changes, the size of the projects change, the number of people that work on it change. But essentially, the focus is interface between the business teams and the engineering teams, if you will, right? Now, as you rightly said, that is just one aspect of managing a product. Now, throughout this conversation, whenever I talk about product management or product manager, it is very important to remember that I'm not talking about the titles. In India, we have really interesting titles, fancy titles, weird titles, and all kinds of things. Whenever I say product manager or product management, I am talking about the role and responsibility. Now, sometimes you may not have that title, unfortunately, right? And this is true, by the way, for lots of business analysts today. Lots of business analysts, lots of product owners, right? This is another new role for the last 3-4 years that we've been seeing with the advent of agile and agile practices. We have this role about product owner, right? If you look at the roles and responsibilities, there is a significant overlap between business analysts and the product owner roles. Now, is it relevant for business analysts? The way I would answer that question is, what would you love to see your role grow into, right? Now, in any product, in fact, what is a product, right? The simple way to think about the product is a product exists to solve a pain point, solve a market need, to solve a challenge. If there is no problem, there is no pain point, there is no need, then there's no need for that product. So which means most important aspect where the product managers need to understand and focus and acquire those skills is to be able to uncover those problems and pain points. And then you start talking about, is this problem real? Is this problem worth solving? Is this problem big enough for you as a business to consider this? Now, that is just one aspect of it. And then you start working with the engineering teams, development teams to create whatever Scrum and stories and sprints and all of that, and start producing things. But product management doesn't stop there. Now, what you're doing is basically what we call as creating value, right? So you understood the value to be created. It means, is it really important for you to create or not? And then creating that value through the regular most of you who are in engineering roles, project management roles fall, do activities in this phase, right? After that, now what do you do to create after you're creating this value? You need to communicate this to the market. You need to work with different teams within the organizations to be able to create a messaging, a value proposition to the market to say, here is what we have created, and these are the pain points and problems that you solve. And hence the customers actually opt for choosing that product or problem to solve. And then move into strategic roles in terms of pricing that product, right? And business case, financial viability, and go-to-market strategy. So there are very many different areas where a product manager need to spend. Now, interestingly enough, a lot of product managers in India are predominantly focused on what we call as the inbound product management, right? Which is working with the internal teams, whether it is a DevOps team, a QA team, or a development team, all of those things to be able to create those products, the features, and all of that. A true product manager would need to really acquire and understand those skills which are market facing as well. And that is not common sense. These are all proper skills to be learned, right? So from a business analyst point of view, the path for you to go is not a senior business analyst or a principal business analyst, that I'm sure you will get it with enough number of years that you spend in the current place. But if you now really need to move into decision-making roles from the business standpoint, then you really need to understand and acquire these skills. I hope that help clarify some of the things that you may have.
Thank you, Sai. So we will try to answer every question asked here. Sorry if I'm being a little hasty. If let's answer a lot of questions, and if you still have any questions, we'll definitely take it.
I also won't restrict my answer just for what is asked. Hopefully, it gives a perspective. Now, this is not there is a question and there is a definitive answer, right? What I am trying to provide is a perspective.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that is the way it should be. So when Sai answers, it is not just for one person; it's for all of you to listen and take advantage of this opportunity. Now, Komal Agarwal has a question: does the course help in building product management portfolio for someone who doesn't have prior experience as product manager? She wants to know if this will help her get a PM job.
Absolutely. I think the course is specifically designed to get you equipped with the necessary skills and competencies that are required to perform a product management role or a product leadership role, right? Again, remember, this is not a title that I'm talking about. And what is important to understand is, it is not just enough to say that I know product management skills. Now, some of the examples of these skills are market analysis, competitive analysis, pricing strategy, value proposition design, user experience, right? And how do you now quickly develop and roll out these products to the market to test and experiment and learn, right? Which is all about agile product management and product market, all of these things. Now, it is not just enough to take some course and say, stuff it in a resume, right? Because how does anybody know that you actually know how to do market analysis, right? So in that perspective, all the IPL courses essentially focus on helping you build what we call as a demonstrable portfolio of assets, which means the course is designed that you actually, after you go through the course or during the going through the course, you build a portfolio, which means you would do an assessment, do an assignment, a capstone project, which helps you showcase this to the world, to your prospective employers within your own company, because you now want to send signals within your company that you now have product management skills and are ready to take on new roles and responsibilities if that exists, right? It's a very important aspect of it. So every course is designed, and along the way, there are mentors that will handhold you, that will guide you, and make sure that you build an awesome portfolio. I think that's the only way today hiring is going to change. In fact, it is changing, right? Resume-based hiring is in the decline because, the moment you see a job is posted on LinkedIn or any of those job posting sites, within 3-4 hours, you see 200 to 400 resumes applied. Now, it is humanly impossible for anyone to screen those resumes. Hence, what are they doing? They're putting filter bots, which are looking for keywords, right? Now, unfortunately, many of us are trying that route and figuring out that we are not getting any response, and hence getting demoralized or demotivated. A better way, a new strategy for looking at this is to build a portfolio of skills, to demonstrate a portfolio of skills. And that is going to be the emphasis in pretty much every program that IPL runs. I hope, and I want to caution one more thing. Now, I may be using certain phrases and words that are, specific to technology or IT. I want to make sure that these skills have nothing to do with industry, nothing to do with a sector. These are skills that are absolutely critical and important for any industry that you may come from. You may come from manufacturing, you may come from pharmaceuticals, you may come from telco, you may come from financial services or IT and ITES. What we essentially talk about is three contexts, right? One is called innovation context, business context, and customer context. If you have to build products or solutions that succeed in the market, these three contexts are very important. So it is not just the skill sets that you need to acquire, but it is a mindset change that needs to happen. You have to unlearn a lot of things to be able to learn new things, especially in the area of products. And which is why it is not easy. There are so many other places that you can see are offering certification program in product management, this degree, that degree, and all. Now, I know from people telling me who have gone through those and tried those things, they take a very different approach. The emphasis on IPL programs is learning by doing. So if you are a person, if your desire is to actually experience things, not just sit and watch a video recording and I'm done with this, but instead dip your toe, build a project, create a portfolio, demonstrate it, then IPL programs are designed for that purpose, irrespective of which industry you come from and what sector you come from. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Sai. I would have to trouble you for something. There is some glitch from my end and I'm not able to see the Q&A window.
Mm-hmm.
Could you please see the window? I see that there are 9 questions there.
Okay, I think let's start with a very basic one. It looks like there is some trouble understanding what is product management, right? Product management is essentially very simple. You are, from in a role that makes business decisions, understanding what market problems to solve, to what customers you want to solve, right? That is fundamentally the role of a product manager. Now, as a person playing that role, think of this as a music orchestra, right? I'm sure you're all familiar with the Western music orchestra, where there are a set of violinists, there are certain pianists, there are certain other instruments that are playing, and there is this one guy with a stick. He's waving his hand up and down. That person is analogous to the product manager in an organization. This person is going to decide whether the violins should go up now and the other instruments should go down a little bit and then come back. He's an orchestrator of productizing process. In a very simple way, the productizing process is what I just explained before, which is understanding the value that you have to create or want to create as product or a solution because you are trying to solve a market problem or need for your customers, and then creating that value, and then communicating that value to the market through product marketing, digital marketing, a lot of those things, and training your sales force, enabling them to sell that value effectively. And then, of course, make capture value, which is monetizing the products and solutions. This is all called as a productizing process. And a product manager is a person who orchestrates this in the team. And that requires very different skills. Okay, so hopefully that answers that question. So let me take one more thing. Now, can product management involve waterfall model or only agile? No, so agile and waterfall are development methodologies, right? And they have different history, different background, different reasons why they exist. Even today, many organizations still follow waterfall model, despite knowing that there are better ways of doing it, mainly because of their operational constraints. So irrespective of the model, a product management job doesn't change. Now, the way that it is executed changes depending on the model. For example, in an agile way, the focus is mostly on how do I create something quickly and get that into the market, let customers use it, let me get that feedback either automatically through the product or through the customer, iterate on it, make it better, and incremental on it. So that's a very different approach as opposed to the previous one. And I've done product management under both models, right? I started product management more than 11 years ago. And at that time, you had to write 100-page documents called PRD, product requirements document, or a business requirements documents, or a market requirements documents. And that approach required this person to write all the 50 features that we need to build, knowing that most of those things are not validated from a customer perspective, from a market perspective. And hence what happened was, when you start building the features to solve those things, some of them worked, some of them just nobody uses it. And which means you are spending precious resources, time, effort, money as an organization into that, which customer will never use. And hence different models try to solve that problem, and Agile does it in a pretty beautiful way, right? So Agile, so both works. Many organizations still have waterfall, but slowly organizations are transforming to use the Agile one as well. Okay, a quick question. I wanted to know if it'll help PMP certified project manager to move into product management. I think, a fundamental difference you need to understand is between project and a product. As much as the words are different, there is a fundamental difference between those two. Project managers obviously manage projects for specific clients or customers. The focus and emphasis there is on time, money, and quality, right? Resources, essentially. It is optimizing those resources for a particular client. Now, sometimes you may have more than one or two clients because the requirements may be similar and all of that. So the role that is played by a project manager there is mostly around delivery and execution role. Whereas as a product manager, when you are managing a product, your number one job is to create delight for the customer, which means the customer's problem. First of all, you need to really understand, and it's not just for one client. It is not for two clients. It is for literally dozens or even hundreds of clients, which means it requires completely different skill in understanding, is there a pattern here? Are there common requirements? Which one should I prioritize? Because everything might seem important at the beginning. A very important art of a product manager is the ability to prioritize competing requirements coming from different directions. Your customers are asking you to build something. Your executive is telling you, no, we need to have that cool feature into it. Your engineering team is coming and saying, we have to upgrade that version of database to a newer version, or we can't scale, or whatever it is. So in all this complexity, how does a product manager make decisions? So this is a decision-making role in using the customer context, business context, and innovation context. So that's a fundamental difference. Now, it doesn't matter whether you have a PMP certified or not certified. The same response I would give is same thing that we talked about business analysts, right? If you really look for moving your career into a techno business role, which essentially is a decision-making role, and to be able to make those decisions, you need to have a really good cross-functional understanding of certain competencies and skills. And these are not common sense. This requires years of practice, but you need to get started acquiring those skills in a structured way. And I'm emphasizing structured way because there are many places where you can learn. In fact, you can sit every day, you can go and spend 1 hour, 2 hours Googling for product management skill or a particular topic, read about it and learn, right? But putting together that puzzle, I wish I had something like these courses when I started of product management in India, because what I've learned is unless you go through a structured way of learning, things will get very confusing, right? And unnecessarily will get frustrated around that. So essentially the answer is absolutely. I think from project management to moving to product management is you're now moving to decision-making roles on products. So that's very important. And do you need a prior experience? Now, many companies may ask for prior experience into this role, and there is a reason for it, right? The reason for that essentially is, unfortunately, there is no proper benchmarking in our system, in our ecosystem, to say whether you have acquired or have enough product management skills, irrespective of work experience. What I'm saying is, if you have done your engineering, and if companies are hiring fresh graduates, we have established some baselines and benchmarks, right? You should be a BTech or a BE or some engineering related thing. Now, not that you will use those chemical engineering or mechanical engineering course that you did in IT or technology, but there is certain baselines on aptitude, quantitative, qualitative reasoning, all of those things. Now, unfortunately, there is no such thing that exists in product management skills, which we are trying to change. So in the absence of that, many HR people will say, why take a risk? Let me ask for some experience from product management already. Now, the way to beat that is what I explained before, a strategy, which is now you should be able to demonstrate the skills that you have learned and acquired. Not just putting it in a resume, but there are many places, many forums, many tips and techniques. Hundreds of alumni of IPL have gone through this and made their career transitions into product leadership roles. Now, when I say product management, remember, it's a role, right? Now, you can still be in a senior project manager or consulting project manager and do the role and responsibility of a product manager, which means you should have that cross-functional understanding of business. Do you understand business finance enough to be able to make a business case to say, should we build this or not build this? Do you have enough strategic acumen to talk to your executive and say why this is a bad project to invest in, or why this is a great project to invest in? I need 20 people to start work on this one right now. All of those things are important, right? So that's essentially, hopefully covers around why product management, what are the kind of skills, and how to move into that. Are there any questions in terms of what program might be best suited for a certain role? I'm just trying to scan through this, but feel free to ask any questions if you have. Can the audience be unmuted?
Yeah, definitely. So, Pankaj, I have unmuted you. So please raise your hand in the window so that, I can unmute whoever wants to speak.
Yeah.
So Pankaj, you're unmuted. Yes. Please go ahead with the questions. Okay, anybody else? I see.
Okay, so I see a question around which certifications are relevant for a business analyst role. So let me take a step back and answer it differently. I don't think there is a certification for a business analyst or a project manager or any of those things. I think it really boils down to how do you want to acquire these skills, right? It's a very important question to ask. If you prefer a hands-on experiential way, face-to-face, being in a classroom setting and interacting with your peers and faculty, then the ICPM program from the Institute, which is a 5-month program with 5 curated product management skills, with each month focusing on one skill, and that's a blended program. Blended program is you spend first weekend of that month in campus with other peers and the faculty. And by the way, all the faculty at IPL for every program are all industry practitioners like me, practitioners like Senior Vice President of Product Marketing in a digital company, Chief Financial Officer of ex-Titan Industries, right? So very, very experienced people who do this day in and day out, not coming with theoretical exposure, frameworks and concepts. While those are important, what is really equally important is how does it work in real world, right? So if the way that you prefer to learn and acquire these skills is to be in a classroom setting with peers and the faculty, and then followed by live online sessions facilitated by faculty, then ICPM is the right program, right? Now, ICPM is a location-based program. It's only run in Bangalore. So if you can travel to Bangalore and Bangalore folks can come to the campus, that is a great program. But there are many people in this country who want a similar set of skills or same set of skills with the same rigor, but may not be in a position to travel to Bangalore or come to the campus, right? And especially in this situation, obviously, in an environment where nobody can move anywhere, the Flex program, the ICPM Flex program is what it decouples from the location constraint. It also decouples from the duration constraint, right? So the ICPM program is a 5-month, there is a fixed start date, there is a fixed end date. In the Flex program, it's called the guided e-learning program. The guided e-learning program means that your courses, the videos are recorded with the same professors, same faculty, same practitioners that teach in other programs. And those courses are made available to you through video and digital format, but then followed by what we call as a guided learning sessions. Guided learning sessions means that every week, this mentor, the skill mentor, the expert in that particular topic or area or course will join a live session on Zoom like this, and the participants join that call and they actually go through a structured way of learning. So there is one set of live session called lab exercises or lab sessions, where the emphasis is on demonstrating using a tool, using a case study, using a example, live industry specific, and helping you understand that concept, reinforce that concept. The next one is about, there's a clinic session. A clinic session is about Q&A, clarifications, because as you go through the program, there might be a lot of questions that come to your mind. How can I apply this in my context, in my project, in my product, in my company? So a clinic session is a great place to ask those questions to the skill experts that join. And then the third one is interesting, live presentation, right? Now, while you go through this Flex program, every course has assignments that you need to complete and a capstone project that you need to complete and present it to the live audience. That way you're demonstrating your skills, you're building a portfolio, and you're showcasing to people that you have learned them. And all of this as you get an international certification from University of Houston, Boyers College of Entrepreneurship. Now, if you look up Boyers College of Entrepreneurship is ranked number 2 in US in entrepreneurship education. So it's a very rigorous program. It's not a lightweight thing where you can lie down on the sofa, take the videos and be done with it, right? So the emphasis is we want you to build portfolio. We want you to showcase those things to your prospective employers or within your own company, right? And the typical participants range anywhere between 5 years to 15 years. So the age is not a bar, right? So this is a guided e-learning program, the Flex part of it. And it decouples, as I said, from a location. You can take it from anywhere. It also decouples from the duration perspective. So while the program is designed and optimally designed for 5 months with 5 courses, some people, if you are a fast learner and if you're able to work on those assignments and projects quickly, you can finish this in 3 months. Or you have option up until 1 year to finish it, right? So that flexibility is also available as part of the Flex program. That's why I personally love the Flex programs. But going back to the response to your original question, what type of program is really dependent on how you prefer to acquire these skills and what is the best way for you to do it. I can certainly help you guide that, but don't take that I'm a project manager, so what is the certification needed? I'm a project manager, what is the best program for me, right? That mapping is not a very nice way of doing it.
Great. So we have Madan Kumar. I have unmuted you.
Go ahead, Madan.
Madan, yeah, please go ahead.
This is Madan Kumar.
Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes, Madan. Go ahead.
Sir, this is Madhakumar from Chennai. Basically, I'm a mechanical engineer.
Solunga, sir.
Sir, Tamil. Okay, fine.
Tell me.
Sir, இப்போ mechanical engineering, the management certificate, the product management.
Sorry. I was just, making you a little more friendly. But let's try and ask the question so that everybody can understand. And I will also rephrase what you said or paraphrase what you said. So go ahead and ask the question in English, please.
Okay, sir.
No problem. Go try it.
This product management இருக்கு இல்லைங்களா? ஸோ இது வந்து மெக்கானிக்கல் ஓரியன்டேஷன்ல ரீசெண்டாக நிறைய சாஃப்ட்வேர்ஸ் வந்துருச்சு. இப்போ ஆட்டோகேட் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆட்டோகேட் தான் இருந்துச்சு. அதுக்கப்புறம் டெல்மி அந்த ப்ரோஇ சாலிட் ஒர்க்ஸ், இப்போ ரீசெண்டாக யூனிகிராஃபிக்ஸ் என்எக்ஸ் யூஜி அது மாதிரி நிறைய வந்துருச்சு. ஸோ இது எப்படி இந்த ப்ராடக்ட்டுக்கும் இந்த ப்ராடக்ட் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட்ல அது நம்ம லிங்க் பண்ண முடியுமா?
No, absolutely. As I said, so let me rephrase your question so that, or rather summarize your question so that everybody understands. Is the discipline of product management applicable only to technology and IT, or does it apply to other areas like mechanical products, electrical products, or any other products, right? As I explained before, very simple. You look around yourself wherever you are sitting today. I'm sure you are watching this through a computer. There is a water bottle next to you. There is a chair that you are sitting on. These are all products. These are not technology products, right? The chair that you are sitting is not a technology product.
Yes.
The water bottle is not it's a product. And ask this question, why did somebody make this product? Who made a decision to make this product? Right? The answer to that question are the set of people who are making those decisions. Those are called product managers.
Okay, fine, sir.
Okay, so there is one important question that I want to take in terms of any assistance or help that is provided for placements or jobs, right? So one important element of this ICPM Flex. Menaka, it might be a good idea to show some of the ICPM Flex slides. There is something called a career management cell that is provided as part of IPL programs, right? Every participant of every IPL program has access to what is called as a career management cell. Now, career management cell provides assistance in many ways for you to help you get that job, right? One is there will be assistance provided on making that resume better, right? While my personal view is resumes are almost dead, it still is important in certain contexts. And it is important how you craft your resume after you acquire these skills to highlight what is more important from product management perspective or product roles perspective than the 10 years of experience that you've already done. That experience is very important. Don't throw it away. 10 years in project management, 5 years in UX design or program management or engineering management, you have to leverage that, not throw it away. That's a very important aspect to consider. Now, how do you use that and the newly acquired skills along with your portfolio to craft your own story? Now, think about it. You individually is a product. You have to start thinking yourself as a product, right? And when you start learning these skills, you will apply those things on yourself. So the career management self will help you in improving that resume and providing you with lots of job opportunities from the industry so that you can make a decision on taking those opportunities or not. Now, it is not a placement service. Sorry, it is not a placement program or guarantee program. This is an opportunity that is provided to the participants in IPL program around how can you join or get those jobs that you always wanted to get to. So can we go to that CMC slide and help people understand about the career management part of it, right? Now, there are many other things that happen as part of the career management, right? There are things about industry connect. At a certain stage in your career, you will realize that jobs, new careers will happen through network. So you have to build that network. If you don't build that network, and you have to start very early in the stage, you can't go and connect with people in LinkedIn hoping that they will give you a job. Networking is an art. And how do you go about doing that? After you have acquired those skills, how do you demonstrate it to people? These are all very important aspects, and career management cell within IPL will assist you in making that transitioning. In fact, there is a dedicated web page. I encourage all of you to go and see on the productleadership.com website, which is called Success Stories, right? And these are all the people who have made, hundreds of people who have made transition, not just at the end of the program, but during the program. So don't think that you will have to wait until you finish whatever program that you sign up for, right? You will make those transitions during the program itself, because you will have enough skills and confidence and completely different way of thinking that it helps you make those transitions. Okay, so hopefully that answers the career management and placement assistance part of it. Happy to take a few more questions if there are any from live audience. I prefer to hear from live audience.
So Vikram and Sri Ramulu. I'm allowing both of you to talk. Please go ahead, Vikram.
Yeah, Vikram. Hi, Sai. Just want to check in the way that, like, I have about 10 years of experience in product management. Worked with B2C companies, pure into getting a product from a scratch to the market, and also currently working with a B2B company wherein you more focus on the stories, agile, and more on the engineering practices. Now, once I evaluated this program from IPL, I thought most of the skills I have worked upon, and it was difficult for me to gauge that this investment, what is the delta I'm trying to earn. So if I can read those books, read those topics, talk to certain people, I can get that delta. But what's in it for me was my question. Yeah,
Sorry,
that's all.
I was on mute. So I think there are different ways to learn content and topics. As I mentioned before, you can definitely enroll yourself in any online program. There are many online programs, right? Including some in India, including Upgrad, including Great Learning or Coursera or Udemy. There are dozens of them, right? And of course, you can go through some of the topics that you need to learn and conclude that you know it. But the way that I would like to think about, there are different layers of learning, right? The first layer, and imagine this as an earth core, right? So earth, as you know, has different layers and cores, right? Or onion, which has different layers. As you peel, you get to a different layer. So the first layer of learning is what we call as awareness layer, right? So how do you get awareness in any of these topics? You can probably join a webinar, you can join a seminar, or you can even take a e-learning course about 3 to 5 hours and basically say, hey, I know digital marketing, right? That's an awareness level. The next level of learning is what is called as literacy. Literacy means now you kind of know buzzwords. You can have some meaningful conversation. Typically, you see consultants doing this, and you may sign up for a 2-day workshop, 3-day workshop, go through it and say, okay, I know enough now to have meaningful conversations with my customer, with my clients, and all of that. The third layer of skill is what we call as skills. Skills include basically ability to demonstrate what you have learned and ability to essentially do some assessments, hands-on activity. So if I ask you, there is a product called Smart Sofa, right? Now we can define what that Smart Sofa is. Now, how do we go about creating a launch plan for this sofa to the market? So the first question that you're going to ask is this: that's not my job, because that's what you've been used to about what is product management. So product management roles and responsibilities change as you grow up in the organization. So if you don't acquire those new skills and demonstrate them, you will certainly continue to be product manager 10 years, 15 years, 18 years, still focusing on what we call as inbound skills, right? Writing amazing user stories, requirements definition, productization, and prioritization and all of that. But are you able to now create a roadmap and communicate why the roadmap is, why it exists? Where should we invest next? How do we launch this product in the market? So some of these are called interlock skills, not direct product management skill, but you are going to interlock with different functions within the organization. Sales leadership, marketing leadership, finance, operations, all of these things. So the question is, if you are confident that you are able to learn those skills by reading and watching those videos, then yes, that is one way to do it. But my experience and practical experience and working with so many hundreds of cohorts is you need a hands-on learn by do approach. That's the only way to do it. So in IPL, the way that is emphasized is through what we call as a skillathons. Skillathon is every course has basically a project that you need to work on with the team, and you're going to present it to an external jury. External jury as heads of products, heads of design, marketing. We bring all of those people from the industry to listen to you. And it helps in many ways. Number one, you are actually demonstrating the skills. Number two, a very important skill, especially after 7 to 8 years experience, is the ability to tell a very compelling story. Storytelling, presentation, art of storytelling is very, very critical. So you need to refine those skills. Sure. Third one is it helps you to network with these people, right? Now, if you're going back to the original thing and saying, what is the delta? I think it's important to even understand. Most of the times we think that we know what we are doing, and I'm sure you're good at what you're doing, but there is a very practical hands-on way of doing those things, plus learning the other skills in a similar way and approach that you have not had access to. Now, again, you can look at the multiple programs that exist in IPL, right? Maybe the Flex program, in fact, I would challenge that, the course that you have, for example, in the ICPM Flex, digital product management, it's very different than the traditional product management. And you're talking about B2C, right? I'm sure you know now that in B2C products, metrics become so important. Metrics around customer acquisition, customer activation, retention, referral, revenue, all those growth loops. So as a product manager, what metrics is important for you to optimize on the product? And working backwards, what features now should you build in the product to optimize for those metrics?
Just wanted to understand how, sorry to cut you. I just wanted to understand how are live sessions, like one is conceptual knowledge and one is your application of those concepts. Yes. So my 9 years went into just driving a product, metrics, user acquisition, LTV, everything. Once I landed after about 9 years to a consulting, there's all thoughts. There's all the concepts, the 5 P's and this model and the bottom model. But then for me to continue striving for success was, I have taken a couple of projects which on my network. So currently I'm also working on a grocery site, which will challenge you every day with the application of the concepts. So my question is, how often does a person interacts with live challenges because whatever concept we read, we have to understand whether we are able to do a competition analysis.
Absolutely.
Can we identify what metrics are moving?
Yes. So even the concepts are changing, right? The 5 P's model, the 4 P's of marketing are not very relevant these days. While it is good to know, and they still teach you, unfortunately, in MBA, in general management, in the real world, those concepts are fine, but you have to really understand how to apply them in the context, right? So that's the primary focus of these things. Now, how do you interact? So every course that is part of this program, for example, if you take ICPM Flex or even ICPM, right? Each course in this Flex program has some assessment components. The assessment components that will help you apply those skills in a practical context is, number one is an assignment. And this assignment is taken from a real world situation that companies have tried to solve in the past or trying to solve. And now you have to apply your learning, your skills that you have acquired, hands-on way to complete that assignment, right? And submit it where the experts or the practitioners are going to evaluate, provide you that feedback. And at the end of that course, each course, there's something called a capstone project, which is like a big project, end to end, which you can actually showcase it to many people. So there are 5 courses and there are 5 capstone projects like now for each of this, helping you reinforce those skills and concepts that you learn, apply them in the practical context.
Sure. Thanks.
So that's the way that it works.
Sure. Thank you very much, Sai. Thanks
Sure.
for your time.
Okay, so I think, are there any quick questions around duration? So duration, I think I've answered before, right? While we've designed this program considering our experience on general learning pace for 5 months, you can complete this if you're a fast learner, and learning is not just going through the videos, as I said, right? Anywhere between 3 months, and you can stretch it. If you have to pause in between for, let's say, some really urgent work related thing that you have to focus on for a month, you can take a pause, come back and restart it, right? So the course is available for you up to 12 months from the day of enrollment. And by the way, I think a very interesting and important thing is, at any point in time, if you are unhappy with the course, right? And the focus of IPL has always been creating delight for the customers, right? Every person should gain from this, should benefit from this, should be able to make whatever transition that you want to do it. At any point in time, if you're unhappy with that, the rest of the money will be completely refunded, no questions asked. And we are saying this with such confidence because more than 1,000 people have gone through 2,000 people have gone through various programs, and going by all of that, less than 1% of people are even asked for a refund. That's the level of confidence that we have on our quality and the impact that we create. The focus for us is impact. It has to impact you positively.
Yeah, Satish,
Yeah.
this is Sriramulu. I have a quick question on the name of the program.
Yes.
You named it as Full Stack Product Management, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it is somewhat related to the software products, right? Full Stack, it's used for the back-end and front-end software development.
Sriramulu, are you coming from the technology background?
Yeah, I'm coming from the software technology background.
That's why you are now relating the full stack to the full stack developer, which is right from web technologies to all the way to backend, NoSQL, to all of that stuff, right?
Right.
Now, full stack in this context is product management is essentially a combination of 20 plus core skills, right? And right from the, as I said, the inbound product management, right, which is most where many people get into product management role, which is writing user stories, requirements, prioritization, working with designers, engineering team to get that done, right? That is mostly inbound, and gradually move along the way with your role and interlock into product marketing, sales enablement, go-to-market strategy, financial modeling, all of that stuff. So full stack means that entire stack, right?
Yeah, okay, got it.
And there are more, don't forget, there are leadership skills.
Yeah.
Along the way.
Yeah. So one question
Just to summarize, summarize, that full stack word has nothing to do with technology stack or IT stack, right? It is the stack of the skills or the core competencies that a product manager requires.
Yeah, okay, thanks. So you have a course on UX design, right? But we have designers available. Why do you need to acquire this skill?
Oh, very important question. I'm glad you asked. Now, as I said, product management has core skills and core competencies where you really need to be good at it, right? For example, day in and day out, product managers has to be prioritizing things. Very, very important. From a prioritization, including business context, market context, all of that, you have to keep prioritizing. But there are, in pretty much most of the technology products today, you really need to interlock and work very closely with certain other functions and roles. Product marketing is one such role. User experience design is another role. Today, products are being differentiated based on design, right? I mean, you yourself look at your smartphones and the apps that you download it. And when you look at it, you are making a choice about why you prefer a certain app over another alternative other app which does a similar thing. A lot of that is driven by user experience. Most of us say that, hey, it is easy to use. But what does that mean, right? User UX. Now, if you are a person who is going to make decisions on the product, on what to build, how to build and what not to build, you better have that understanding of user experience.
Okay.
You need to understand design thinking. You need to know enough about user experience to be able to have those meaningful conversations with a designer. Because if you don't have that language and vocabulary and knowledge, they are not going to listen to you. Everybody is an expert, right? Engineer, UX designer is an expert in design. Engineer is an expert in engineering.
Right.
You are not the person going to tell them how to do it. You're essentially going to have that conversation to say, why is it the way that we need to build makes sense? That is your role. And for that, you need to have that language, you need to have that vocabulary and even skills to master. You don't have to do it, but it's important to know how to do it.
Sure. I have one more question. Sorry, I got late to the session. So one basic question. You have courses, MBA course on product management and ICPM and ICPM Flex. What is the major difference?
So I kind of explained this in the beginning. It's not an MBA course, it's an executive MBA, right? It's a full-fledged accredited program, university program where UGC grants you the degree. It's an executive MBA in product leadership, not product management. Product management, as I said, product leadership is, you can still be in your functional role as an engineering manager. You want to become a director, senior director, vice president in engineering, you can still continue to do it. But if you don't have the cross-functional understanding of that business, why are we building something? Who's going to use it? Are we going to make enough money? Is our marketing right? Are we positioning to the right set of customers? Are we building this profitably? Because you're going to handle budgets, you're going to handle money, right? So that cross-functional skills, and of course the leadership skills like, negotiating, conflict management become very important at a certain stage.
Right.
And all of these things packaged in a campus environment in a university setting during alternate weekends, right? Where the faculty comes to the campus, where we have campuses in Bangalore and Pune. And the participants come to the classroom setting. It's a peer learning environment. It's an 18-month course, very comprehensive, alternate weekends for working professionals, face-to-face program. If that is the way that you prefer to learn, you think that that's the one that impacts you most, then that is designed for you, right? Okay. However, the other programs that I mentioned are short-term, focused on product management skills. One is a blended program. The other one is completely flexible program, decoupled from location, decoupled from duration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Sure.
Thank you, Sai. I think we are a little running out of time.
So I see several questions that we've answered, especially in terms of career management. See, I don't want to use the word placement, right? Because IPL is not a placement service company. IPL brings opportunities for you and helps you build the necessary skills and abilities to take advantage of those opportunities, right? So don't mistake and start thinking that I'm going to be placed assurance, right? That's nobody, in fact, that's not a business that IPL is in, right? So it's very important. But having said that, you will be absolutely ready to make that transition because we have confidence. We've seen so many people make that transition with the skills, with the mindset, with the assistance and help that is offered to you through career management. And amazing salary jumps, right? In case you're wondering, a typical product manager salary these days of course, I'm talking about some technology company with 5 years, 6 years experience is ranging anywhere between 30 to 34 lakhs, right? And forget about those things, irrespective of how many years. So let's say you're in project management, product management, program management. Moving into product management roles is almost always 20% to 30% jump in the salary. And this is not my own guesswork. There is data to substantiate this, right? However, the transition requires effort. It requires demonstration of the skills and a deliberate effort. Just because you have a certificate doesn't mean that the job will come, right? So you all know this, I'm sure, by now. Okay, so one last question maybe we can take if there is anybody who has raised their hand, just to give an opportunity.
Sri Ramlu?
I think Sri Ramlu.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. Thanks.
There is a person without name, just numbers, but I'm not sure if you want to talk. Naveen. Yes, Naveen.
Go ahead, Naveen.
Please go ahead.
Looks like Naveen is shy. Naveen, don't be shy.
Naveen, you can speak. You're unmuted.
Okay, maybe we give that opportunity to say Pankaj.
Hardik, yes. Pankaj already spoke.
Okay, Hardik, maybe Hardik.
Yes.
I mean, my query is not related to, any product management, but the last query which I had is, in one of the slide I saw the fees is around 75,000, but in the website it shows as 85,000.
So that is plus 18% GST.
Website says 85,000 plus 18% GST, but the slide which is going on now, it says 75,000.
So looks like there is a promo offer that's going on. If you sign up right away with full payment, that's the offer that you can take advantage of.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Sai.
Sure.
And also, before we go on to the next question, see, we know that a lot of you have asked questions, so please don't be disappointed if we could not answer. We try to answer as much as we can. Now you can reach out to us, and we will, we will try to answer these questions through our LinkedIn posts or our account. So please keep watching. And some questions are repetitive, so
I strongly encourage all of you to go to the website, look into more details, try and reach out to somebody who can answer your specific questions if they are not answered here. I'm sure we've tried to cover most of the common ones that I see. I'm scrolling through the chat as we speak. Looks like we covered many topics around the questions, right? So, okay. Well, last and final one. We have 1 minute. If anyone wants to take a quick take.
Yeah, or please make use of this QR code that you see on the screen.
That is true. Yeah.
So scan and get a coaching session. But let's take one more question. Maybe anybody.
One last one. Yes. Yeah.
I think no. It's
okay.
Still I mean, yes.
All right. Thank you all. Nice talking to you, and stay safe and stay skilled. That's very important. Pick a skill. It doesn't matter which skill, but learn that skill during this time, because you ought to be ready when things get normal. Right? That's very important. Good night.
Thank you, Sai.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank you all. Yeah, bye.